What's up guys, Justin the WOD Nutritionist here. Here at CBG we help you lose body fat, we'll help you build muscle, and we help you crush your WODs without tracking macros. If you want to book a call with us to see if we can even help you, go ahead, click the link below in the description and talk to me or one of my team members. Today's topic, cheat meals. What the hell is a cheat meal? How do we incorporate a cheat meal? Why are we still calling them cheat meals? I'll go through everything today and how we can utilize this to better benefit our workouts as opposed to keeping us back from reaching the goals that we have. There are 5 main reasons you want to incorporate a cheat meal. And before I start, remember, here at CBG we call cheat meals recovery meals. Recovery meals, if used correctly, can be used to help improve our workouts, our energy, PRs, all the above, rather than feel like a cheat. So, recovery meals, 5 reasons to have a recovery meal. Number 1, a mental break. You've been eating clean all week, meal prepping, and you might just need a little bit of time to say, you know what? I don't want to think about what I'm eating next. I'm going to eat what's available and something I enjoy. A mental break can be huge. And remember, just one meal is not really going to keep us from reaching our goals anyway. Giving ourselves that mental break can be absolutely critical, especially if we want to stay consistent long term. Number 2 is craving control. So a lot of us know that we can have our favorite foods and incorporate them in moderation. However, for some of us, that's very difficult. So one way to get around this is to eat fairly clean throughout the week, good food quality, and then have that one recovery meal one time per week. And this can help with craving control so that you're not binging and going crazy for multiple meals throughout the week. As we know, if we eat always high dense, calorically just neutral foods like chicken, broccoli, and rice very consistently, we end up wanting to cheat more because we're not giving ourselves that permission. Having a recovery meal can help with craving control. Number 3, increase social flexibility. Who hates going out and not being able to eat anything, right? Increased social flexibility has us enjoying our recovery meal, participating in social gatherings, and just not feeling restricted overall. Number 4 is that recovery meals can help give a small boost in metabolic rate and your overall metabolism. As we eat more calories, our metabolic rate improves. This gives us even more energy to crush our WODs, and boosting that metabolism is good, especially if it's in a short stint. More on this later. Number 5 is metabolic flexibility. Metabolic flexibility gives us a further boost in motivation. These higher calorie meals give us a metabolic boost to begin with, and especially if you've been in a calorie deficit for a prolonged period. Looking forward to obviously having a cheat meal can boost motivation, keep us on track ahead of that cheat meal, and keep us on track more after we have that recovery meal, which is super key because that leads to overall consistency and leads to the results that you have been missing. There are also reasons to why we might not want to have a recovery meal, what we can do about it, and what the next steps would be in order for you to maximize your workouts, enjoy the foods you love, and obviously make sure you don't feel guilty about any sort of foods out there that you want to incorporate and enjoy with by yourself or your family. So number 1, recovery meals can be a slippery slope, meaning we could feel like, hey, we've already had this, let's just keep going, and we end up eating way more calories and way more food than we anticipated. We don't feel good after, and this slippery slope can be hard to regain control of. So if you're somebody that's all in or all out, fix your mindset ahead of this before you decide that you're going to incorporate a recovery meal. It can be detrimental to your results, especially when things are very vulnerable on weekends and where a lot of us struggle. Number 2, you can go through this guilt and shame cycle by incorporating a recovery meal. Also a mindset thing. As we know, we don't need to feel guilty about the foods we eat, and we don't need to feel shameful because one meal is not really going to do much. But if you have this guilty feeling after eating your favorite foods, ask yourself, why do I feel guilty eating these foods if it's going to keep me on track for longer and better, and I'm still going to get the results that I want? So indulging in a recovery meal can lead feeling guilt and just deep into our feelings, which can negatively impact our overall self-esteem and long-term consistency. Number 3, it can cause a hindrance in general to consistency if you're incorporating too many cheat meals. A recovery meal once per week is okay, but if we're doing this too long, it can really slow down our progress, especially if we're doing too many, and even keep keep us at a standstill if we're incorporating too many. So keep this in mind. Number 4 is we have this false reward system, which brings me back to my point why I've been calling these recovery meals and not cheat meals. Labeling certain foods as cheats can give us a negative mindset around food, those foods we're incorporating, and label those foods as bad. Now, we could still say a food is necessarily bad, but our overall diet can still be good. Or we can simply label that food as something more nutritious than something else, which may be less nutritious and higher in calories. Also a mindset thing to have this false reward system. Number 5, it can cause digestive discomfort, bloating, especially if we're overindulging in these foods that are in higher calories and our body's not used to eating. These are some things that I think if you're in this spot and you feel this way, work on your mindset in terms of improving before incorporating a recovery meal, but these are maybe some of the reasons you wouldn't want to incorporate them. What are the things that CrossFitters are doing out there? The main 3 or 4 things that they're doing to incorporate recovery meals and be successful. These are a couple things that I do, my clients, and just CrossFitters all over the world we work with to get the best results, to lose body fat, build muscle, and crush your wads without tracking macros. Number 1, we do 1 recovery meal per week. 1 recovery meal ensures you're not going to go over your calorie deficit, especially if you're someone looking to lose body fat, and you don't have to feel guilty or shame in that 1 meal or that 1 moment, because there's no way you're going to eat enough calories in that 1 moment to sabotage all of the progress. So the first thing, incorporate 1 recovery meal per week. Start there. If you're getting results and things are moving quickly, you can maybe go to 2 recovery meals per week. Number 2, plan your recovery meal ahead. This is so that you don't have that guilt and shame feeling and you don't go crazy and overindulge and into that slippery slope that I mentioned earlier. That way you have it planned. You know, Friday night you're gonna have pizza with your family, and there you go. You got it planned in, less guilt, less shame, and it's incorporated in your overall successful plan where you can still lose the weight, recover from your WODs properly, and just feel great. So that's number 2. Number 3, plan your cheat meal ahead. How do you eat the rest of the day? Very important question. So what I recommend is eating normally throughout the day. A lot of people will not eat throughout the day because they know their recovery meal is coming up. Don't do this. The reason? You're likely to eat double or triple the amount of calories that you would have eaten on a regular recovery meal if you're not eating throughout the day. Think about it. You haven't eaten enough throughout the day and a box of pizza shows up. You're gonna eat way more slices than if you ate consistently throughout the day. Hit your protein goal, crushed your workout for the day, all of that. So make sure you go ahead and eat consistently throughout the day, even on the day you're incorporating a recovery meal. Number 4, I love for my clients and athletes to have recovery meals on days they actually train. It feels better to wake up in the morning, hit your WOD, get in the work, and then come home later on in the day and have the recovery meal that day. It's just a mindset thing that I utilize to help my clients feel better about having that recovery meal, because at the end of the day, we shouldn't feel guilty about this anyway. Sometimes I incorporate a recovery meal right after my workout. My body's going to utilize that energy. It probably needs it, especially if your recovery meal is high in carbs, which is what I prefer. And so that's how I incorporate recovery meals for my clients. Have it on a day you actually work out. Does it matter if it's on a day you work out or not? No. Your total calories throughout the day will dictate whether you're losing body fat and making the body composition changes and seeing performance improvements. However, it just feels better to get it in on an actual workout day. Number 5, don't feel like you need to overstuff yourself when you incorporate a recovery meal. Eat to satiation and then go from there. Incorporating a recovery meal is awesome. We want to do this for dietary flexibility and some of the reasons that I mentioned earlier. However, we don't want to feel like garbage, hot garbage after we've eaten a meal. We still want to feel good. Still want to feel like we can do things around the house or go somewhere or wake up the next day and feel good. So don't overindulge when you're having a cheat meal, recovery meal. Don't do this. Just eat to satiation and go from there. Don't feel any reason to have any foods that are off limits. There's no reason to do that. And above all else, know that having a recovery meal is not going to ruin your progress. Tip number 6 around incorporating a recovery meal if you're doing 4 to 5 watts per week. The next meal has to be a good meal. This is following CBG's 2+2 rule, meaning you're not going to miss 2 workouts in a row. You're not going to have 2 recovery meals in a row. Only 1 recovery meal. Next meal, we're right back on it. Guys, I hope these tips help incorporate better how to have a recovery every meal, staying more consistent, seeing predictable results and progress over time. And if you're looking to lose body fat, build muscle, crush your wads, and you don't want to track macros ever again, book a call in the description below. We'll chat, we'll go over your goals and see how my team can help you. See you on the next one.